Welcome to Snowflake's first ever community-run user conference. My name is Angie, and I'm the Senior Community Manager here at Snowflake. You might be familiar with me if you've been in the community. We may have chatted. If not, definitely say hello next time you're in there. I am so excited to see Group I come to life, finally. The idea behind this event is really to bring people together, our community members, give a stage to our most knowledgeable users, and really dive into the real and technical uses of Snowflake. So the first iteration of Group I is brought to you by some of our top Snowflake data heroes. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Data Heroes program, Data Heroes are our everyday users who go above and beyond to support community members get the most out of Snowflake. So you'll see them writing blogs and tutorials, creating videos and demos, hosting events, workshops, user groups, and really just collaborating across their field to elevate the entire data community. Today, you're going to get to meet and hear from 6 of our earliest data heroes as they take you through a deep dive of Snowflake. emceeing our event is the original data hero, data warrior, and Snowflake's chief technical evangelist, Kent Graziano. Kent is a data modeling, data warehouse, data architecture specialist. He's the author of 16 books and ebooks on data modeling and Data Vault, and he's a frequent contributor to the Snowflake blog and user groups. So without further ado, let me welcome Kent to the stage.
Thanks, Angie. That's that's great. I don't think I've ever gotten that much applause before. That's amazing. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here today. Hope you find it a useful day. Thanks for the introduction, and I'm really excited to be part of this groundbreaking event. I have always been part of a community. When I started training in Taekwondo in college, I became part of a Taekwondo family. My instructor said we were all Taekwondo brothers and sisters, and he was our big brother. As I progressed in my training and explored other martial arts, I became part of a broader martial arts community. There I met and learned from many incredible masters and practitioners that helped me grow in my knowledge and my skill. After college, I became part of another community, the global IT community. In the late 80s, I joined the Rocky Mountain Oracle Users Group and attended quarterly meetups. Yes, we actually had meetups way back then. It's not a new thing. I started as an attendee, then was encouraged to be a speaker, where I found a way to give back by sharing what I learned. Next, I became an event organizer and then a leader. I was eventually elected president of 2 of the largest Oracle user groups in the world. This past February, before the lockdown happened, I was honored to give the keynote at the annual Rocky Mountain Oracle User Group training event. Yes, a Snowflake employee gave a keynote at an Oracle event. Let me tell you, that raised a few eyebrows, right, Benoit?
Yeah.
So I've come full circle. I've benefited greatly over the years from the members of that community, and now I got to give back in a big way. Community. To say my involvement in community has impacted my life and my career is a massive understatement. It's led me to here and right now being the chief technical evangelist for Snowflake, the best job I have ever had, and your MC for today's event, the first ever Group by Data Heroes. So again, welcome everyone. We're glad to have you all here today. quickly review the agenda so you know what to expect. As Angie said, hopefully you've got your coffee, your water, a few snack bars, something handy so that you won't miss a second of what's going to be said today, and these awesome presenters we have. It's just jam-packed. All these great data heroes talking to you. We're going to start off with notes from Benoit, and then get into Snowflake features from a business perspective, ELT, and the T of all of that. An awesome hands-on lab demo from Randy Pitcher on streams and tasks, and a session that's going to make you wish you had some food with you is barbecue data and Snowflake with Sonia Rivera. Then we're going to get into our awesome data sharing and even how to connect Mongo to Snowflake. And then we're going to close out with talking about SnowPro certification and what it can do for you with Joyce. And then we'll have a few closing remarks after all of that. A couple of tips before we start. These days, pretty much everybody is a virtual pro. So, but we want to make sure that you're all up to speed on using this in Zoom. We're in Zoom today. There is a Q&A. So for actual questions for speakers, we ask you to please use the Q&A session. We have some folks who will be monitoring that, and as time allows at the end of each talk, we'll try to get some of those key questions. You can upvote questions in the Q&A. So if somebody else asks a question and you think, yeah, you'd really like to hear the answer to that one from our speaker, make sure you upvote that. Get to know everyone that's on this. We've got a lot of people on the call this morning, so use chat for that if you want to talk about and discuss what's happening and what's being presented. Please use the chat for that. You can change how you see what's going on today by looking at your gallery view and maybe changing how that is. And then one big ask that we have is use the rename function. If you go into your little window there, you'll see three little dots, and you can rename yourself. So please do, like some of us have, if you haven't got your full name showing up, put in your name or however you want us to refer to you, and your company name, if you will, or a job role, whatever you want to share with the community. So make it easier for folks to have a conversation with you. And then when it gets to the Q&A, the speaker will know your name and have a point of reference. So we really love it if you guys would do that. All right, so now to get started, I'm really honored to introduce to you our first speaker. It is Benoit. He is the co-founder of Snowflake and the president of product. He is truly the first Snowflake data hero, because without him, there really would be no Snowflake. He is a leading expert in parallel execution and self-tuning databases. He's got a PhD in computer science from Paris. Benoit is indeed French. His focus was on parallel data execution. He spent 15 years as a lead architect at Oracle, working on parallel execution and the SQL engine before he and Thierry founded Snowflake. In fact, as part of that community I was mentioning before, I've had many experiences working with people who actually worked for Benoit. Some of my best friends and mentors at Oracle turned out were friends of Benoit and Thierry, and I found out about that when I came to Snowflake. He holds over 80 patents and 20 publications, including the groundbreaking SIGMOD paper, the Snowflake Elastic Data Warehouse, where he introduced the innovative multi-cluster shared data architecture. Many of you have seen the Data Heroes cards now on social media. And I'm now going to share with you and unveil for the first time ever, I don't think Benoit has even seen this, Benoit's Data Hero card. Soon of course, my PowerPoint slides have now hung up. There it is. Oh, went one too far.
Wow.
Get that back there. Come on, where is it? There we go. Come on. My PowerPoint. There we go. There's Benoit's Data Hero card. Now my thing's going crazy. Wouldn't be a live show without something like this. So here it is, Benoit's Data Hero card. He has now been declared the supreme data wizard of the Data Heroes. And so without further ado, turn this over to Benoit.
Thanks, Kent, for introducing me. I'm definitely not an hero. I don't know about data hero, but I'm not an hero. But it looks great at least. So anyway, I wanted to say first that I'm really excited to be here with all of you today, and it's really great to see how the community that Snowflake has built around our product is so vibrant, and it's such a powerful Snowflake community, and of course as you have as you said it would not happen without the incredible contribution of all Snowflake data heroes, which are really the data experts, on Snowflake technology, the most experts of our technology. So I first wanted to thank them. But beyond data hero, I really think that Snowflake would not exist for all the users and the amazing support of all our users community. So I really wanted to thank everyone on this call who is attending. It's not only data experts, it's everyone. And to that note, I just wanted to say that's when we co-founded Snowflake, Thierry and I, one of our main focus was ease of use. And the reason is that, really our dream was to create a data platform, a Snowflake data platform that all users would love to use. So we really, every decision we made was really focusing on what would be the experience of end users. And so we really cherish the time that we have when we have the opportunity to really interact with our users and see all the excitement that exists around the product. So thank you again, all of you for attending. So maybe we can go on the next slide. Yeah. So data. So as you know, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time, describing, how data is important, but Snowflake missions is really to enable every organizations to be data driven. So if you look at our main, mission statement is about making everyone, data driven. And of course, everyone knows, otherwise you will not be in that call, that data is critical for any decision we make, and both, personal decisions we make. When we buy something, we look at a lot of data before doing a buying decision, but also, of course, in our professional life. So everything, is many of these decisions or all of these decisions are centered around, data. And to deliver, on that mission, the main focus for Snowflake from day one, when as I say, when we founded Snowflake, was to remove barriers, was to eliminate, data silos, was to make it really easy for users to directly access the data without going through, processes and IT organization, because it's such a complicated system. We wanted to really democratize this access, and really the what we are building now is this cloud data platform, which is really the data platform that powers our vision for a very new type of cloud, if you want, which is our data cloud. And they are, when you look at our data cloud and that vision, there are really two main goals, and they are easy to understand. First, we want to give access to all data to our users. So all data you need should be available on that platform. And as I said, it's no silo, because you want to query all this data in one single place. And all data means, any type of data. So this is why initially we really focus on both managing, structured data and semi-structured data like JSON. But now we want to extend to new types of data, more complex structures, let's say, video, images. So you can expect us to move, into supporting more data types. And also the other importance about, supporting any data is, of course, that you don't have any limit in terms of scale. Snowflake platform has no concept of capacity in terms of storage, right? You can store as much as you want, and you will never get out of disk error. So that's important. Any volume, petabyte scale, many petabytes, potentially exabyte, and we are working really hard to break, new barriers in terms of data volume. And the last aspect of any data is really that you can also access data which you don't own, which are outside of your organization. And that's the super important aspect of data sharing. Data sharing enables, you through the, our data marketplace to access data that you don't own, and to have direct access to this data and not to worry about, maintenance of that data. Someone else, the provider, is maintaining the data for you. So it's very frictionless, access to all the data that you need. The second aspect of our platform is really to support any type of workload and any number of workloads, together running concurrently against the same data. And initially in terms of workload type, right, we focused on data warehouse, workload. Now we are extending, and we have been extending, the scope of this workload for many years actually. And we are going to data engineering. So I saw that there was a presentation on our, table streams and tasks. So that is to make it really easy to process data and transform, data inside Snowflake. But data science also, we have announced, Java UDF. We are going to release also, working on Python UDFs. We are also integrating, new ways of programmatically access data through, the data frame model, which was made very popular by Pandas and Spark later. So having a new way to access data in a programmatic way is very important for data science. And of course, data lake is a big focus of Snowflake since day one. So, and the other aspect is, as I said, that you don't have any scale limit also for workloads. Data is one dimension, no limits. We didn't want to have any limit in the number of workloads that you can run concurrently inside the platform. And that is our, shared data multi-cluster, architecture that's Kent mentioned. So the last aspect I wanted to mention in terms of directions and where we are going is the world is global. So instead of building, a fragmented platform with independent, deployment in different regions, we really wanted to build one single platform for the world that will, cross, regions and countries and continent boundaries. So we have today, but not only cross these geographic regions, but also cross clouds. So we have regions in AWS, in Azure, and in GCP, and that's very important because the Snowflake Data Cloud is overlaid on top of the infrastructure cloud, and we want really to make it super easy to interact with many of these the region, whether it's you are multi-cloud or you have different geography in your organization. And we are focusing on, making management of several accounts all over the world, being super easy to manage as one. And you will see a lot of features going forward. And we have already a replication of data across accounts, but global management of these accounts is something that you will see in the coming, few months. So of course, the last thing is we are not done, right? We are still working a lot on in improving and evolving our, cloud data platform. And personally, what is interesting is that I'm as excited as I was, when we started Snowflake, with the work that we have forward. So somewhere, I have the impression that we have just started, and there is so much more that we can do. So really stay tuned. And I like to say that if you like, Snowflake today, you will love it tomorrow, because there is so much more, to come. So next slide. So now let's go back, to the Snowflake community and what it is. So first, it's very important to mention it's a global community, right? It's not just one country in the US. We started in the US, but our community is worldwide. It has, members in Europe and, in Asia and all over the world. So it's also an ecosystem of data experts. So these are, the data heroes. We like to call them data heroes. And the goal is really for all these users to share knowledge, exchange ideas, network, between them and collaborate. And the overall, goal is really to move the industry, the data industry, to move it forward, right? The cloud is an amazing revolution. And Snowflake data platform, is so different than your previous system, right? We are not one system like you would have an Oracle database. We are really a platform, a single platform for the world, and that enables, completely, new use cases, and it's a transformative, technology. And we want, users to help each other to walk, this journey. The data, the data journey, and really take advantage of all the power of that platform. So there is a variety of user-run programs, which are, available to support, connections and collaboration, and this really allows the Snowflake community to create a new wave of data professionals. So that's important, right? What you do with Snowflake is going to have a huge impact on your professional life. And really, this is setting a new standard for this data industry by, and really the end goal is by enabling, every organization to become data-driven. So you are somewhere the messenger in your own organization. So just, quickly story of the evolution. So in 2017, we launched, the Snowflake community, and it started, just by having, forums and documentation available. 1 year later, we established the Snowflake community blog, and that was allowing us to showcase, some of the most interesting and relevant work, which was done by that community. And last year, we really formalized the concept of user group program, which is, to support these meetups that the community members around the world had started to organize. And we also launched the Data Heroes program. And the goal was really to recognize the tremendous, contributions of our most, vocal community advocates. So that's a very important, aspect. And today it's amazing to realize that the community has already 35,000 Snowflake users, and is growing really every day. And the future of this community, and that's really key, will be determined by each of you, right? We are just, helping you to get organized, but at the end, the community is yourself. So next slide. So today, just to give you some number, the community has, members have answered, 3,000 questions. We have, 350, blog posts, and it's growing, of course. And we have, 50 what we call global user group charters, which are this community of users, regional community of users, which got organized all over the world, as I said. And we have, 43 data heroes, so many data experts already in the Snowflake technology. Next slide. So we talk a lot about, you know, these data heroes, and really I wanted to introduce some of them. So we have, you know, 43, so it's only a sample of our, you know, top, you know, data heroes. And some of them you will hear in today's, you know, talk. So next slide, please. So the first member, and it's probably, you know, the really the one at the top, is Hans. And Hans is really one of the most knowledgeable and engaged data heroes. He is the top, so first he is the top Stack Overflow contributor and has been answering technical questions, any technical questions about, you know, Snowflake, and oftentimes I see the answers that he made since the start of our forums. And he has amazed 4,000, you know, data point heroes. And just to give you an idea, you know, answering one question only gets you, you know, 100 points. So you can imagine how many answers Hans made. So next one is Randy. So Randy is an expert in Snowflake content, and he's really creating a lot of knowledge. So his focus is splitting into between writing blogs, hosting meetups and user groups. That's very important. You know, building sample apps. You know, showing how the Snowflake technology can be used. You know, from you know, simple apps. And also, he has even hosted a podcast covering, you know, all things data. So you will hear directly from Randy this morning as he takes you through the hands-on lab, covering streams and tasks. So this is the data engineering, you know, workload that I mentioned. Next one is Daan. So Daan has been a Snowflake user and community member since 2018. And is our top data hero located in Europe. So this is what I said, you know, our user community, you know, expand all over the world. And you can find his Snowflake blogs online and join of his oncoming events to learn more about him and of course, Snowflake. Next, so Joyce is one of our newer data heroes who came out of the gate running with 10 plus videos of Snowflake. So she's creating a lot of videos to showcase, you know, Snowflake. And she has really passion for education and specifically on our Snow Pro, you know, certification. So Joyce will take us through what's getting what it takes to get a Snow Pro certification and what it can do for you and how it can help your career. Last one is Daan. So Daan is in Dublin. So if you are living in Europe and in Dublin in particular, you have probably heard about Daan. And Daan has written over 15 blogs on Snowflake, and he is really the expert when it comes to Snowflake and Power BI. And he regularly hosts meetups, you know, speak at events, and consistently share his knowledge and with the broader data community. So on this, I really wanted to thank you again. And as you can see, we have an amazing lineup of data heroes presenting today. And I'm really excited to hear what all of you have been working on and really have a chance, you know, you will have a chance to engage with all these data heroes throughout, you know, the morning. And I really look forward, you know, seeing you in the community. So thank you and have a great, you know, morning with us.